Hello, this is Diligently Distracted on Otaku Giku. I have a small, runny nose, so excuse the way I sound. I have only ever cried watching TV or a movie once. It was the Steven Universe movie when Spinell sang her song. Nothing else on TV has ever made me cry. Even so, few things have ever managed to make me feel even close to crying. But this got me very, very close 4 times. This is what I might call the peak of an anime love story. It builds and builds like real life. The main characters go through challenges and hardships, but because they stick together in friendship, love, companionship, they all grow into a climax that makes what would have been just some regular high school love story a really inspiring triumph, not just about romance, but about overcoming doubt and insecurity, coping with loss and death, supporting people through tough times, finding your own voice, your own way to become your best self, and ultimately finding the strength and the courage to pursue your dreams. Our Love Has Always Been 10 Centimeters Apart is a 6-episode series, each episode lasting 22 minutes, including after-credits scenes. The anime is the first TV show based on the Confession Rehearsal manga, made by the Confession Executive Committee franchise, produced by Honeyworks, which is a YouTube channel known for anime music videos. If you haven't seen this anime, it's on Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime, Roku Channel Premium, and more. I'm not going to talk in depth all the way through the series, go watch it yourself, but there are crucial moments I just need to talk about. And of course, warning, spoilers ahead. Crying Risk number 1, the song montage with the older brother. Seeing the way Haruki, our main character boy, found such a powerful confidence to be who he is and pursue a life in film directing from a young age was moving. It was clear the spark within Haruki was born out of the love from everyone around him. His older brother, Chiaki, who, despite having a fatal illness, made sure to put in the extra time and effort to make sure everyone was happy. And Chiaki's best friend, Akachi, who was always there for both of them. The backstories of these characters all connecting makes so much sense and makes everything so meaningful, like our main character girl, Mio, being tied to Haruki's family. Chiaki saved Mio from drowning in the lake as a child, without knowing who she was or ever seeing her again. So Mio wakes up every day knowing she owes someone her life, but when she learns that person is dead and has been dead for some time, she feels extra pressure to live up to that, but feels she isn't enough. All Mio's artwork and dreams and hopes and friendships seem to mean nothing from her perspective. So Mio withdraws from everyone, including Haruki, her best friend, who she was secretly in love with, even though, everyone, even the teachers, knew. But then Mio's friends basically had to drag her out and help her remember she is enough, because she's willing to do the hard work to accomplish goals that she herself set, because she has a passion that she dedicated her life to, art. However, during this time of reclusion, Mio had separated herself from Haruki in shame because she felt she was an insult to Chiaki's death. And this left Haruki to have to face some problems that had been lingering within him for some time. Left on his own to think, Haruki entered a rough state of mind because even though he won a full-ride scholarship to study filmmaking in America, he began to feel like his dream to become a film director only exists because it was Chiaki's dream. Haruki became depressed because, just like how Mio had lost motivation to paint when she felt she wasn't enough, Haruki couldn't see a reason to film. His spark had lost its light, and all those warm feelings that kept him confident crumbled, and he isolated himself just like Mio had. Though if you ask me, Mio handled it way better, at least she went outside. This leads to our next major moment, not a crying risk, but the snow scene. Mio had already been helped out of her dark time by her friends, and she was painting again, and she quickly realized that she had to do the same for Haruki. He wasn't even showing up to school, but she texted him, "Come meet me at our usual spot I'll wait as long as it takes. So she stayed on those steps that they used to walk home on and chat on every day. She stood there even as the weather was adverse and it was freezing cold and the sky was dark and it was snowing. And she just waited for Haruki. Out of an adrenaline rush caused by what I can only describe as a manic episode, Haruki leaves his room for the first time in days to finally talk with Mio after so long of having not seen her, only to get angry at her for thinking he'd get mad at her because she's the girl his brother saved. But then he quickly redirected the anger at himself for stealing his brother's dream and being a fraud, and Mio quickly realized that the only way to stop this imposter syndrome downward spiral is to slap Haruki in the face and tell him to get out of his own head and listen to what she and several others have been trying to tell Haruki from the start of the movie. Film means the world to him, and he's his best self doing what he loves, and that's not something he can fake or steal from anyone. Mio yelled all this, probably the first time she's raised her voice since she screamed, "I'm no good." And during the speech, all I could think or feel was how important it is that people support each other. Mio found her strength because of her friends, and with that courage, she was able to help Haruki, which leads to our next major moment, which is, again, not a crying risk, but watching the lost CD from Mr. Akachi.
お前はその最高のシーンを撮り続けていく覚悟はあるか？もちろん。だって俺、映画監督になるんだもん。たくさんの人を笑顔にする映画を撮るのが俺の夢だから。
Mr. Akachi gave Mio a CD she watched with Haruki, and through the old video, they were reminded of how Chiaki saved Mio's life, had given Haruki his spark, and even inspired Mr. Akachi to get his job as a teacher. Haruki's spark had reawoken from Mio's words, but seeing the video made it grow 10 times in size. Haruki seeing his younger self's determination in its purest, untampered form, and hearing young Haruki promise to not just his brother, but himself to pursue a dream of becoming a film director, that reawoke the passion that makes Haruki who he is. It's incredible to see how, in a way, Chiaki has saved both Mio and Haruki, something that will mean a lot to them for the rest of their lives, which leads to our next crying risk moment. Saying goodbye. Their last day before Haruki leaves for his time abroad in America hurt my heart. Mio and Haruki have made sure their last moments were full of hope and laughter as they talked about their dreams and wishes for the future, but the scene was also greatly bittersweet because they've realized their feelings, but they both know they can't say it. Not because of a lack of confidence like in the past, but because Haruki is leaving, and Mio doesn't want anything to hold him back from his dreams, even herself. That day, the only goodbye Mio gives Haruki is a text promising she'll wait for him as long as it takes, just like she had said on the snowy night. And the only goodbye Haruki leaves to Mio is a behind-the-scenes video of the filming process of his final student project, which revealed this whole time his film's theme was focused on finding something that would make Mio happy, because he loves her. And then, oh gosh, crying risk number 3. She waited 7 years. This didn't even have a reason to make me cry, but seeing how Mio's job as an art teacher kept her in the same place she's grown up, I realized she's always passes the stairs she's always sat on with Haruki at the school, and the grave her savior is buried at, and the cafe where Mio had poured her heart out to her friends. It's just a constant reminder to Mio to keep doing her best because she has the feelings behind all her memories carrying her. She's lived an incredible life, and it just made me emotional seeing how, even after all this time, those places stay in her heart with everything else. And naturally, there were some times of doubt and worry that still crept in, because Of course, it's 7 years later, and Mio was worried Haruki wouldn't feel the same because he's been away in America, and even if she promised to wait for him, that doesn't mean he's gonna come back for her. Before we get to the ending, can I just say that I really loved seeing Mio's students talking to her so happily, and Mr. Akachi is still there to help her if she needs, and Mio's friends are all grown-ups. Their friend group dynamic is the peak of romance minor characters. Their love lives were just, they just got, lovely. Yu's proposal was probably the dorkiest, dumbest thing, but I loved it. And then Sota and Nakari are such a sweet couple, Nachan saying she'd make Haruki come to her wedding so she could fight him in her wedding dress for making Mio wait so long was hilarious. But it also showed how Mio was losing hope since basically the only proof he remembered her was sending a funny short film CD on her birthday every year. Crying risk number 4 is obviously the ending. Of course, Haruki came back for Mio, and they sat at the stairs they've always met up at, the spot that holds so many precious memories. And with the weight of all that there, they finally closed that 10-centimeter gap and professed their undying love for each other. What touched my heart was seeing in their faces, not just physically, but emotionally, how far they've come. Both of them gained confidence in themselves and used that courage to pursue their dreams and put 100% into each and every day. And yet in all that time, they had each other in their hearts. Mio and Haruki are not the same anxious, confused, immature teenagers they were when they first met. They have grown into adults, and with a sense of self and hard work that's paid off. And yet they are just as in love, if not way more in love. I implore you, watch this series and carry these feelings with you everywhere.